Hello, hello, my amazing creative friends. Oksancia here again. I am today live here to let you know that I support you during this difficult time for all of us, and no matter if we're creative or if we're any kinds of other profession. Unfortunately, it is definitely a very tricky time for us all, and will not pretend to know all the answers and have the answers. We are also very scared here for our health, for health of our family. So it is totally okay to admit that it is a very, very tricky time, and not many people know what to do. And I see here there are some people coming in. There is the magical patterns. Hi, magical patterns. Oh, she says, dear, I recently bought an art set and it came with some coloring books. I looked who was the designer and it was you. It was so cool to know it was you. Awesome. Thank you. Can you please email me the pictures of that? I would love to see it. That would be super, super cool to see the pictures. Yeah, magical patterns. Could you please email me the picture? Would love it if you did. Sophia says, hi. Hi, Sophia. So today I just wanted to hop on live to say hi to all of you, to tell you that I'm here with you. I'm home right now. I'm in my dining room, so a little different background here. There's our little map of the traveling that we did, and I think it's fitting because yeah, this is the world that is being affected right now, and we are definitely um, all scared. But at the same time, you know what? I have a lot of positivity in me, as if you guys have been following me on my YouTube channel, or maybe you are my online course student, you know how that I have the power of positivity. So I'm going to use that power to lift us all up, and I welcome you with your stories, with your power to lift us all up as well. I wanted to share a few tips today how to be a designer during crisis. Why am I qualified to share them? Because I was already, it's my second time during crisis being a designer and a creative business owner. I just was thinking about it for a few days over the weekend, and I was thinking, wow, actually I started my online course, I started my online design business, selling vector repeat pattern designs a little bit later, but first it was vector illustration specifically for children. That was my passion starting out. I did not have skills, I did not have savings, I did not have a good computer, I did not have a tablet. I was 23, around 23, and it was interestingly, it was 2007 that I started. So what happened there, high creative bliss, what happened there is that in 2008, as you guys, some of them might probably remember, there was a big financial crisis that lasted for years. So my business was just a year old when the financial crisis hit. My creative skills were a year old because I do not have art education. I do have a master in literature, so I did study very hard. I have 2 master degrees from 2 countries. However, in actual art skills, I was still developing them. So if you are right now following my channel because you are learning how to be a creative, beginner creative person and a creative entrepreneur, as I like to call ourselves, it is a tricky time. However, I do have light at the end of the tunnel, that of course it is a good time for us in a way that we are, as creatives, are needed right now. Right now the issue is that all the businesses are going down. There is a panic all over the world, and it justifies in many ways because it's very scary times. We are all afraid. However, the digital side of things, the internet and the digital products are being created. Right now, all companies around the world are creating digital products. And what is happening is that they will need graphics for those products, right? And we as creatives can create those graphics, but if we know how to license those graphics, where to put them on, how to keyword them, this is definitely going to be something interesting to look into, because even though right now there is a big dip for everybody, but if this dip will level out once everybody will start creating more and more digital products. It can be ebooks, it can be coloring books, even digital apps, all of those things that will be used by people around the world, by children. All of those things will need visuals. Many of people who design those things, the software designers, they are not artists. So there's not necessarily a very dark picture for designers right now, as I see it, because yes, it will be tricky for all of us, but we will still have an edge as creatives, as people who create digital artwork, to be able to provide needed and helpful things. All right, let me see. Creative Bliss says, hi, I love your work and your encouragement. Stay well. Thank you so much, Creative Bliss. You too. Magical Parents, I started to do this because of a crisis also, and you were the first person I found to help me. I became bedridden for years and had to reinvent myself. Oh my goodness, Magical Parents, so sorry it happened to you. I totally know how a health crisis is. Unfortunately, I have a chronic health issue myself. I talk about it a lot also because I want people to know that these things are really bad, but you can reinvent yourself. I would love to hear more of your story. Please email me with your story. I would love to hear it more. Maybe I will share it with everybody so that we can support each other and share these stories of hope. So thank you so much for sharing. You can email me. I would love to hear more about it. And if you want to type right now a little bit of your story, I will read it to everybody as well. All right. MC Boo says success. Success to you too. All right, you guys. Okay. So back in 2007, the issue was with there was a big financial crisis for years. But what happened in my case? First of all, I didn't know what I was doing. So what I ended up doing, I just knew that I wanted to develop artistic skills. Those skills, in the end, even though I wasn't making a lot of money back then for years, I still lived very in a lean way, almost like a student lifestyle. We did travel the world also on a very low budget. We didn't have kids back then, so I mean me and my husband. And what we ended up doing, we just lived very lean, and I worked every day developing my skills. So what I teach on my channel right here and in my online courses, that we have our skills and we have our assets. And assets are creative things, let's say a portfolio for licensing, available for licensing of digital assets, which would be your patterns. Not many artists think that way because they more look on more of an art side of things, excuse me. But actually, there is a side of things that is needed to other people, that people will pay money for, and this is basically a licensing side of things. I have been licensing my designs for 14 plus years, for many years now, and I actually was able to support my family with it. Who knows what this health crisis will bring us? However, that it is pretty clear that digital world is booming right now. It's growing, so it is definitely something to look into after you take care of your health and after you take care of your family, of course. So I came out of that crisis 10 years ago. To be honest, I came out much better than it started because I kept on developing my Adobe Illustrator skills. This helped me a lot. I kept on growing as a creative person. I was sketching. I did figure drawing. I did watercolor painting. I did a lot of vector graphics. So I focused very clearly on vector graphics while doing some sketches and landscape painting to improve my creative skills. And I still need improving my creative skills. So we are never done learning. However, it really helped me start getting freelance clients and licensing my designs. And once the crisis ended, in a few years, it lifted off a little bit. I started seeing more and more freelance clients, and I started seeing the sales of my artwork, licensing of my artwork pick up while I was building my skills. So do you want to just feel unproductive, or do you want actually to start investing your time in developing your skills? It doesn't have to be a lot of money. You can look at the free resources available right now online. Even on my YouTube channel, so many tutorials I created, so many mindset videos for creatives. Take a look and you will be able to find a lot of free resources also over on my blog, and there are amazing resources on YouTube as well for you guys to get started building your skills as a designer right now, if you need building your skills at this stage of your life. Okay, so that's one of the part of my message is I've been to the financial crisis. I've been through a big world crisis. It was not a health crisis. However, I've been living with a chronic illness that in the end I cannot work and look at the screens for sometimes for days, which is basically chronic, really bad kind of a chronic headaches. And I've had it since I remember myself. And what I do whenever I have this crisis, I just basically address my health. And when I go out of this crisis, whenever it lifts off enough, I start giving myself an hour here, 2 hours there, and building up slowly to be able to build my skills, improve myself, and start finding clients. In my way, I was keywording and learning how to keyword my artwork properly so that clients can start finding me, which was definitely what worked for me and for many of my students who already reported having clients come to them. Again, this is right now, this is a panic state of things. And what I encourage you to do is look at learning right now, these few weeks or maybe few months. Learning will keep you sane. Learning will keep you improving, and keep your hands busy with sketching, with drawing. Definitely, this is a known stress release so that you can feel more clear, so that you can take care of yourself and your family better, and which of course comes first. Stay home, stay safe, wash those hands, and keep them busy. Whether it's sketching, whether it's doodling, whether it's painting, this will keep you healthier and less stressed out. Okay, let's see. Before I go to the next point, I want to check what other people are saying here. All right, Orso Polar says, I think during this period, people that haven't even thought about using digital apps and services will use them, having their experience. After it will pass, maybe people would feel more safe using it. That's very true. More people will start thinking about it. More people will start developing things. It will be books. It will be apps for children. All of those things need patterns. All of those things need illustrations. So you can try and create illustrations. You can try to create patterns. You can try to create all kinds of backgrounds that will work for apps, because many people from their home will be developing those digital products. All right, and there are a lot of universities that has online free courses. Definitely look around, see good resources. If you're a beginner, Adobe Illustrator has a lot of free resources. My YouTube channel has a lot of free resources, and there are awesome teachers online as well. So I encourage you to look at a lot of free resources, as well as if you find something that will really help you and you feel like you can invest, definitely you can also do that. But please, of course, be responsible with whatever you can invest in right now. All right. So Ursa Polar says YouTube is a universe and internet. Great. Thank you so much for awesome suggestions. 100% I agree. I learned a lot from the internet, from free resources, and it is definitely very a lot of awesome things out there. All right, you guys, I wanted to, before I move on to the next point in my story, my tips and advice for crisis, I wanted you to ask everybody, please post in the comments if you're watching live right now, or you can post in the comments if you're watching this on replay. You can I would like to hear your suggestions. What would you like support with from a designer with experience and the online teacher right now? What can I create resources for you guys to support you? Because I really want to be helpful. I am also a mom. I have a daughter. We are doing homeschooling as almost everybody around the world, basically everybody around the world right now. Our schools are closed here. I am so lucky that I love teaching. It's my big passion. I developed it over the years that I created my online course school. But so I am actually very passionate about it. I love teaching my daughter. I love teaching my students, and also creating tutorials here for you guys. So if you, I'm looking for more resources. What would you find helpful right now during this crisis? And I will do my best whenever I have a time block available to work. I will do my best to create resources for you guys here. Vita says, thank you. This is helping. I started to panic in my retail grocery job. All right. Yes, definitely, Rita. I can imagine that this is really tough for some professions, and I consider myself lucky because I already worked from home. I already have a lot of things set up, and I already have this amazing community of you guys to support each other. But of course, many businesses are suffering right now. At the same time, many of us, we almost all of us, we have internet at home, and or we have access to internet, and um, we can definitely think of starting to learn the skills that will over time will get us into the digital aspect of things. And if the crisis ends fast, let's say, of course it will end, but if it will end a little bit faster, maybe it will be longer, but nevertheless, the learning takes time, and this is the time for us to start learning and improving. I'm going to be learning, I'm going to be improving, I'm going to be contributing to my digital portfolio, no matter if we don't know yet how the sales will play out of the digital assets. I would say they will be up for one purpose, maybe down for other purposes. However, it is definitely very useful and helpful to try and see, instead of, let's say, just doing nothing and maybe panicking. It really comes me down to learn new things, to polish my skills. I feel productive whenever I can, in between of taking care of health and my family. All right. Mercedes says, I feel you, Rita, starting to panic too. Our income is affected by this pandemic. Still trying to be positive, though. Great job trying to be positive. Everybody's income affected. Our income is affected as well. So it is definitely a time to come together and figure supportive things out for each other. Okay. So I already talked to you guys about, I have some notes here. So if you see me reading, I just made some notes to share with you guys, to try and be of help as much as I can to the creative community right now. Okay, so at the same time, if you are creating digital graphics for licensing online, you know there are different price points for licensing those graphics. And the point is that many of those portfolios, like mine, for example, it is considered to be not the it's not the high end of pricing, right? And this is the choice that you need to make. It is okay to be a high end of pricing. It is okay to be lower end of pricing. This is the choice that I made a long time ago, and then I make up before the crisis. Basically, I make up my sales in bulk, in big numbers. So I have thousands of downloads per week, and over the years, it builds up into a portfolio of work, and then it builds up into into sales over time. Again, this takes time. It is not a super quick make money for rent right now. No, unfortunately, there's almost nothing like that, except if you do freelancing. If you find those jobs, you can make money faster, but you need to have the skills already. You need to have the software. You need to have the skills. You need to know how to do invoicing. You need to know all of that too. I am not saying that this is something super quick, get rich quick, anything. This is not like that at all. However, if you find that creative things, creating is your passion, you over time can develop those skills and that portfolio. Okay, and at the same time, being a high-end designer right now, unfortunately, will be trickier, even though many companies will still need those designers. So it's not impossible at all. I'm not saying this is bad. It's just I feel like a lot of people will be maybe licensing, going to the microstock websites to license instead of hire a designer, which is at the same time, of course, very sad, because we don't want the designers to suffer of any kind. But at least temporarily for this position, it is a good idea to invest in developing assets right now, and to also think to freelance for different companies who will not be able to have a designer on staff right now with the current health crisis and job crisis. Okay. Again, what else can I suggest? If my ultimate recommendation for you guys, okay, let me check. If you are able, after you take care of your health and your family, if you are able to learn to study every day, practice a little bit every day, even before bed, 15 minutes, 25 minutes, this over the next few months will compound. You will come out of the crisis having had control in something, which is, let's say, your learning and your skill development. And we don't know for sure how this impact any of us, the health side of things, but what we can know is that if we are lucky to stay healthy, or to, if we even get sick, we get better eventually, and hopefully, and we will become better as a designer. So this is my position. This is how I approached my health crisis over the years. I've had a few. This is how I approached moving my whole business abroad, all overseas, from Europe to United States. This is how I approached when I was taking care of my baby girl for 2.5 years, with no nannies, with no relatives anywhere near us. We did it all ourselves. So I wouldn't call this a crisis, but was a challenge, let's say, for my work and for my business. I took it slowly. I put emphasis on skill building. I put emphasis on gradual improving. And of course, I had to prioritize health, because without our health, it is very tricky to do anything as much as you can. However, many of us will still have our health. And I feel that this having our health and not doing anything, not improving, not supporting the community, not being a part of a community, will bring us down, will cause us more stress, will not let us develop as designers. And many people, unfortunately, right now, as you guys are listening, they are making a choice to turn around and do nothing. They are making a choice to not focus on learning and developing skills. They are thinking and focusing that they need to drop everything. But this is exactly the thing that is keeping us more stressed. So that's why, even though I've been stressed out over these few days, I was processing a lot. I was meditating in the morning, and I actually felt like I want to contribute. I want to support my online course students. I already also went live today in the morning and talked to them, that I wanted to offer suggestions how we want to support them. And now I want to support my online community here on YouTube and on other platforms, because I feel that we need to come together and provide helpful things for each other. All right. If you guys have any questions for me, I still will be here a few more minutes to help you, maybe to give any suggestions. If you have a story to share about crisis and how you overcame it, I would love for you to share with me. And I definitely will still stay on a few more minutes. Hopefully, if you found it helpful, let me know, you guys, what do you think, what was helpful for you. And I will just finish up live in a few minutes if there are no more questions. Deb says, call me Deb. I have gotten 4 new software programs and a book to go with one of them that is a workbook style. I'm so excited to learn them. Wonderful. This is a great attitude to have. This is a great time for learning. This will really help you manage your stress better and actually do something to improve your life while we are going through this crisis, all of us around the world. Wonderful job, Deb. All right, you guys, so I will just wait 1 more minute to see if there are other questions. And then I actually have a few ideas to create more resources for YouTube channel for this, for my community, for my website, to help support designers and creative souls just like us, and to help everybody through this. And I will be sharing things. By the way, I will be sharing things on my newsletter, like this video. I will be sharing more resources and the books that have been helping me to keep my sanity and keep me a little bit less stressed and taking care of my kid. So I will be sharing that. If you're interested in these topics, please sign up to my email list. You can go to my website, and there are free ebooks over there, and I will actually create a page right now. After I'm done, I will create a quick page for to link on my website, so that you can sign up to my newsletter if you want to hear to get actually text resources and links to the helpful books, and all kinds of links to my YouTube videos that I find helpful during these times. So please sign up. It's a free resource. There are free resources over there, and I will create a separate page. So if you're watching this on replay, there will be a link in the description to sign up for my email list, where I will be updating more and more resources as I create them for you guys over the next few weeks. And I see Mercedes Arstopola says, nothing for right now. Keep safe. Wash your hands. Yes, very good reminder. That's true. Wash your hands. We've been washing them and counting and singing the alphabet with my daughter. So it helps her to remember to wash hands longer. Mercedes says, I think you answered this somewhere, but I would like to ask, what are your thoughts in using public domain images to create patterns? Not necessarily use them as is, but maybe use a part and edit them. Okay, great question, Mercedes. If you are planning to license your designs, you are not allowed to use anybody else's work, unless, let's say, you are collaborating with a photographer for a specific project. They exactly give you a license to use their photo, then yes. But because you are not collaborating with a photographer, you can look at other photos. Let's say you are thinking how to draw a hummingbird. You can look at those pictures, but you are not allowed to copy them exactly. You need to stylize them a lot to be able to sell those images later. It is not a good practice, even if people will not get caught right away. They might not, but it is not a good practice, and you need to prove that this was your photo once you upload. So you cannot use other people's photos. You need to always be using your original photos, your original work. And so I do not, let's say I need to draw a giraffe for a pattern, for a kids pattern. I do not have a picture of my own that I took of a giraffe, let's say. So I would look at pictures of giraffes, a few different ones, and then I will compile a sketch not based on anybody's photo. So I will just look at them and compile a sketch and try to look at kind of reference them without actually copying. So please do not use public domain materials. I do not also recommend to use any old pictures of 100 years ago, any particular images that you find on the internet. You might think that they're public domain and they're old, but then you might get into legal trouble down the road. So please, I do not recommend that. It is always your choice, but it is not a good practice to be using anybody else's images. Okay. Deb says, just starting out, do you know a way to protect your design? I am making t-shirt design, but found that there are others sell my design. Well, very good question, Deb. There is a problem for all artists. If we are good artists, if we're starting to build a name for ourselves, we are unfortunately will be copied. I've been copied for years in all over the world. It is people now that people see my designs, they recognize them. Sometimes they show me things. It is very unfortunate that this happens. What I recommend is always make previews that you post online, make the previews always small. I like to make my pattern 600 by 600 pixels JPEG, and I put a watermark on them, which is my logo. If you want to see an example of that, please go to my Instagram. It's at Oksancia. over there, and you scroll down and you will see some of my vector patterns already, little squares, and there will be my logo on this side. So this will give you a little bit of an idea how to protect your design. Very important to develop your logo, and I recommend that you have your website there or Instagram handle, so your future clients who want to license your work will be able to find you. Okay, great question, by the way. Great questions, guys. Cecia asks, thank you so much. Awesome. Did you what platforms, I think, did you recommend sale channels? Maybe help each other with the skills at hand. Okay, if I understand, Cecia, if I okay. Oh, Cecia says, sorry, typos, washing dishes. No problem. Okay, so if I understand correctly, you're asking which platforms do I recommend for selling repeat pattern designs. Great question. If you go on my blog, on my website, which is oksancia.com, there is a blog post that I did a while ago, which still stands. And there's also a YouTube video on YouTube that I did. And it is about which websites I recommend. So the best websites that I recommend, you can look up those websites over there, and I named the websites that have been working the best for me. So this is number one thing that I recommend. Check out that video. I explained a lot of things in that video over there. Okay. Ursa Polo says, if you use a platform like Redbubble, you can report those people designs. Yes, very good suggestion, Ursa Polar. It is, yes, you can report those designs. You can do that on other websites like Spoonflower and Shutterstock. If you see that people are selling your designs, you can report them. And you can, if you find those designs on one particular, let's say on eBay, you can report them too. You can find if they're selling on other t-shirt websites, like Threadless maybe, or something like that. You can also report those people so that they will ban them, basically. So great suggestion. All right, you guys. So I think I will need to wrap it up. I need to pick up my daughter from nap. So now we are all in this together in a way that we need to take care of our kids and families. But I'm so glad that I got to speak to you today. If you know somebody, if you know a creative person who is struggling with this, and you want to maybe cheer them up, to show somebody who already went through the crisis, and a few also including health crisis, I hope you can send this video to them so they get a little bit more, maybe moral support and some tips on what they are able to do and how to see this situation in a little bit more of a productive light, let's say. However, if you have more ideas on the resources that you want to want me to create, please put them in the comments under this video, and check out a lot of free videos I have on this channel as well as on my website. And also don't remember to sign up for my email newsletter, because some of the resources I'll be sending as links and text posts over there, and I will try and create a quick sign up page for you. Otherwise, if you see a sign up for my free ebooks that I have a free ebook, How to Grow Your Repeat Pattern Portfolio 15 times Faster. If you sign up for that ebook, you will be automatically on my email list, and you will start receiving timely tips for how to handle this particular situation that we are in right now as a creative and as a designer and illustrator. All right, you guys. So thank you so much that you joined me today for this live. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you so much once again, Ursa Polar, Cecilia, Deb, Mercedes, everybody who are over here, Magical Patterns, Sophia. Thank you so much, everybody, and I really appreciate you. I wish you all to stay safe, health for your families, and I wish you a creative time. I wish you lots of learning and skill development, and I will talk to you guys in my next video or YouTube Live. Bye.